Do I want to know what the fuck your name is, Doc?
Why are there so many Koreans when I search Giphy for...
Because that's like the last name of 15 million Koreans.
I mean, you're not wrong. There's a lot. How many Koreans are there?
That statement almost seems racist until you realize it's not.
Yeah, it's fine.
Masami's
It's
like, but
fine.
though?
Everything's fine.
Racial humor is not automatically racist.
Actually, this is a good opportunity to talk about that. I don't know what his name is, but I keep on seeing videos of him everywhere. He's the Korean, no, he's the Chinese gentleman that says emotional damage.
Yeah, Uncle Roger. Oh no,
Uncle
the
Roger,
other guy.
Yeah,
No, Uncle Roger is a different guy. That guy has done skits with Uncle Roger. Uncle Roger's the food guy who loves.
Oh, who critiques like cooking rice and noodles and stuff. Yes,
he loves MSG.
I know what you're talking about.
MSG is the pure ultimate flavor.
I have to say that the best of all of them is the guy who screams that you need to wash your fucking rice.
You do.
Oh my god, that
because
guy
you do.
is amazing.
But where I was going with this is the whole this accent where he is not quite, he is talking like this. Like, I think that's a fucking hilarious thing, and that is not racist at all, because I know straight off the boat Chinese people. I have worked with them. I've gone to school with them. No Chinese person I have ever met sounds like that or speaks with that accent. That is not a racist accent. That's not an offensive accent. That is a parody accent.
Yeah, so I mean, and Uncle Roger, like, Uncle Roger, in the end of his videos, he does, like, bloopers and outtakes. He's actually a British comedian. Like, he's in England, but, like, he's a stand-up comedian, and Uncle Roger is a character, and he shows bloopers at the end of his video where he, like, laughs and breaks character. He says, oh, like, that was horrible, or whatever he says. And he's actually started going on tour as his Uncle Roger character.
Which is fucking great.
Yeah. But yeah, he doesn't hide the fact that he is doing a character / caricature.
Yeah, it's caricature.
And, yeah, you can make a joke about anything. Certain topics are just way harder to make a good joke about. If you want to do racial comedy without being racist, if you want to do like gender comedy without being sexist, if you want to do a rape joke, like, you just need to be really fucking good at comedy to pull it off. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. Anything can be funny. Just some things you better be damn sure you're good enough to pull it off.
Anything can be funny, but not any one can be funny.
Yes, well said. That is a good way to put it. Yeah, it's good jokes are out there for any topic. You just got to be careful. Gotta be careful.
Anyway, enough of us actually being serious. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Church of Chonkwij podcast. My name... I don't know what the fuck. I'm joined tonight by OmegaConstruct, Punlord Masami, and ZeroBurn75. And, yeah. Does anybody, before we dive into this, does anybody want to stream stuff? I have to get rid of that fucking Giphy page.
Yeah.
The Giphy page.
As much as I know you guys hate it.
Most of it's K-pop, too, and, like, they're attractive looking. Jesus Christ, Zero.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Why am I apologizing? Fuck you.
All right,
fuck
fine.
it. I'm not sorry. I enjoyed this game.
I won't be happy about it, but I'll do it.
I mean, look, I would be playing Redfall, but...
I just heard Leetna say that's what she said. Hi, future Leetness. Yeah, so you're playing WoW. Did some fun happen in WoW or some? I've lost the will to live.
Yes, there is a new The new patch is dropping tomorrow. New season, new raid tier. Hooray, yay. New stuffs.
Is that good?
Yeah, actually it is. We're moving forward with the storyline, and Blizzard is not holding back. They are doing a lot of really good shit. I'm actually impressed with the WoW development team. Which at points is very hard for me to say, because for the last like 7 years they've been shit. But now that they brought Chris Metzen back in to handle the story, it seems like they're doing good shit.
Oh my god. Well, we all know my position on Chris Metzen as a writer. But yeah, Blizz has also gotten shitting all over, shatted all over.
Lightly shitted on.
Yeah, we brought this up last week. Their problems with NetEase and their problems with continuing on WoW development to the point of revising some of their launch schedule, figuring out what they were able to commit to on their launch schedule.
Well, and the whole reason behind that is, and I found out the whole reason is they changed their work from home policy. They are now mandating a minimum of 3 days a week in the office. And the people are like, we're working fine at home. Why are you changing this policy? So,
has anyone else seen the YouTube short of the company meeting? It's a comedy skit of a company meeting introducing brand new ponchos for men so that they can masturbate in the office.
No. That's
It's
awesome.
because during our work from home phase, our male employees got used to being able to relieve themselves at their leisure, and now that they're back in the office, it is unfair to ask them to cease this natural biological behavior, and so we are accommodating them with privacy ponchos.
That's awesome.
And then the women in the meeting are just like, "That's disgusting. Are we gonna get a place where we can go and come?" And the guy is just like, "Excuse me, women coming?" And that's it. That's haha. More on the female orgasm later. What do we got?
Will it come quickly or slowly?
That's entirely dependent on her.
Probably not at all. I mean, if we're
Yeah,
being
my money's on not at all.
That tracks.
the not so subtle passive aggressiveness of yeah. What a surprise coming from Doc. All right, we could talk about we'll talk about how yeah, actually, let's just get it out of the way right now. It's not the most interesting article that we have, but it's definitely pertinent to what we were just talking about. Omega posted this from the UK, or government.uk. Microsoft, the Activision deal has been prevented to protect innovation and choice in cloud gaming. So the CMA prevented Microsoft's proposed purchase of Activision over concerns that it would give them basically a monopoly on the market or an unfair advantage in the cloud gaming market. And they listed their choices. Apparently, Microsoft went back and forth with the government of the UK for a little while, trying to propose solutions to the United Kingdom's concerns. And it just eventually came out that the UK concluded that any solutions proposed by Microsoft were insufficient. And they listed bullet points, which are up on screen right now that anybody can read. So yeah, this $69 billion deal that we have been talking about for going on a year now is off because the UK government found that basically Microsoft would be gaining an unfair advantage in the cloud gaming. So no Microsoft acquisition of Activision. Not happening. I think we called it.
Completely dead. It's not completely dead, just mostly dead. It can still happen. This is just the UK. This is not the United States.
Yeah,
but
so the FCC is, or the SEC is still engaged in that lawsuit in the United States over the same thing, basically.
I mean, I wonder what that case, what the result would be if, it was approved in the US but not in the UK. What would that look like as a practical matter? Would they just have to spin off as a separate entity in the UK?
Or we might see a lot of Activision properties under Microsoft being released in the US and elsewhere, and just not being available in the UK.
That would be by far the worst possible outcome.
Yeah, that'd be a big middle finger.
And that's just a fuck you to every gamer in the UK.
Yeah, but if we're being honest, couldn't you see Activision doing that bullshit?
We've seen it before with other companies. Ubisoft has titles that are not available in the Netherlands. We know that much. And I believe Amazon has titles that are not available also in the Netherlands because they have good consumer protection laws and anti-gambling in games laws. I was going to say free-to-play games, but it's all games. So, not unprecedented. That is how it wound up in the UK. So yeah,
I don't see it as 100% dead. I mean, it's not going to. I think the acquisition will still happen. I think what we'll see, and I would be willing to put my money on. I would be willing to put not a substantially less than $1, on it being. We see Blizzard split off from Activision as a separate division, and Activision getting bought out solely by Microsoft. Activision will be its own thing, Blizzard will be its own thing, and that will be it.
I mean,
well, who knows though? Also, you got to think Activision itself is, ActiBliz, I should say, is pretty massive. Like, yeah, it was the combination of Blizzard and Activision, but like Activision before Blizzard was massive, and there's a lot of things that could potentially be spun off that could allow this to go through. So that's how this kind of thing will often go. Is it's not approved as it originally was planned, but they spin off X or Y assets into their own things, then it's allowed to go through. So, it could be Activision, could be all of Blizzard, it could just be a chunk of Activision, it could be the publishing arm of Activision. Who knows? It could be any of that, or it could just kill the deal all entirely.
This could also, to your point, Omega, if this influences, or, this has happened in the UK. The lawsuit in the United States is still ongoing. This will definitely have some influence on the lawsuit that's going on here. This might force ActiBliz to, not force, encourage, I guess, them to take maybe a different stance, maybe approach this differently in their lawsuit here, so that the lawsuit does go through here, and then under presumably new deals or new ideas, this could go back to the UK, and we could be like, okay, so this is how it's working with the US. Can we make this work here now that we've agreed to X, Y, and Z? So yeah, this could be the start of a game of tug of war, a legal tug of war. But yeah, there are many. Activision, as you said, is an absolutely enormous property, company, corporation. If anybody's legal department can figure out how to sort of get around this, so to speak.
If anybody's legal department can figure it out, Activision's legal department will figure it out.
Especially when there's heaps of money involved.
Mm-hmm. Because Bobby Kodak's got to get that payday.
He's got yacht payments, goddammit. Actually, no, he owns the yacht outright. He needs to pay for his slip year to year.
There are children still eating food in poor African countries. Bobby Kotick needs more money.
I mean, yeah. Same with Jeff Bezos. Oh, wait, speaking of complete cunts, a while ago, we got into... You actually explained to me why Nestlé is an absolutely horrible corporation.
Literally the worst company in the world.
Literally the
Mhm.
worst company in the world.
Literally the worst company in the world. I want to be
So
clear
they-
on this.
So they quote unquote won a lawsuit in the United States. Actually, the lawsuit just got dropped because they were being sued. Their headquarters in the United States was being sued for profiting from child labor in various African nations. And it got dropped, and Nestle quote unquote won because, and I'm not making this up, the child labor did not occur in the United States.
What?
It's not illegal where the child labor is taking place.
Exactly. So yeah, just everybody who happens to listen to this or catch this little bit of the clip, don't buy shit from Nestle. Just don't. There's better chocolate out there. Their hot cocoa is not that good. I don't know what the
Here's
fuck
the
else
thing.
they make, but I'm sure you can
They
go on
make
Wikipedia and find all the
fucking-
companies that they own.
They're one of the companies, one of like the 4 companies that makes 90% of the food that is available in the world. So to effectively boycott Nestle is honestly kind of a losing battle. It's
I would
kind
do
of
it
not
just for the
possible.
lulz.
But you know, you just try your best. I think that's all
I bet.
anybody can hope to do.
Okay, how much chicken do they produce? Do they own Purdue?
I don't know. You can look it up.
Shit, yeah. Because that would be the only thing that would be like a hard no. I grow most of my vegetables. I also need to see if Nestle's in charge of rice at all. I consume a lot of rice.
Rice.
Well, that'll be a fun project for me tomorrow when I'm bored at work. What the fuck are you killing
Nestle
a pile
doesn't
of rocks?
think water should be like Nestle doesn't think water is a human right.
Oh, is
It's
that
literally
that?
on
Yeah,
record.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
on-
I believe I remember what you're talking about, and it was purchasing. They were
Basically,
purchasing
one of-
rights to large. Yeah, you go ahead.
One of the executives, my understanding or my memory, hopefully it's not a false memory, is that one of the executives was asked in an interview if he believes water is a human right, and his answer was not an unequivocal yes.
I'm
Christ.
imagining a corporate meeting at Nestle trying to figure out how to charge people for rain.
This person, oh my god, I did not realize just how bad Nestle was as a company.
I'm glad that we're talking about it on the record now, because yeah, it's bad. But hey, you know what? We're coming. If Nestle was here to defend itself, gosh darn it, then their corporate spokesperson would say that if they got rid of their deals in those countries with those child laborers, then how would those child laborers earn money to buy shoes and iPods and whatever the fuck else people in the third world country are doing these days? They are doing a service, goddammit.
Yeah, sure. God, these people are making Jeff Bezos look like a saint. And that's fucking hard. And that's fucking hard to do because that man's wage. Oh God.
It's true. It's not great. Okay. So anyway, fuck Nestle. We're adding things to fuck at the end of the podcast. Onto actual like this actual gaming news. Okay. Anyway, on topic, Ukraine's army is experimenting with using Steam decks to remote control gun turrets. This is fucking awesome.
That is amazing. I love it. I saw that article and I was like, I love everything about the title of this article.
Hey man, the U.S. military has been
yes.
using Xbox controllers for years.
Yeah, right. Actual
You think
Xbox
I'm kidding?
controllers too. No, they are.
Yeah.
There are pictures of it.
No,
Real
there-
Xbox
yeah.
controllers, not the shitty third-party ones that you get for like $19 on Amazon.
Again, though, like it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Does anybody not think that Microsoft is not one of the biggest contractors for our military?
Oh,
Does
God,
anybody
no.
for a second not know that just is a fact? Because it is. Like Microsoft is a colossally large government contractor.
I think most people usually put them in the software category, though. But it is worth noting that Microsoft pumps out a shit ton of hardware and R&D on new hardware devices. So yes, absolutely yes. But for this, in this case, anyway, the Ukrainian army, this came out through a series of videos. The first video, people were skeptical, but the follow-up videos clearly showed a Steam Deck being used to control an automated turret. There, I'll put the picture up. The Steam Deck is so handy for this because it has all the controls of an Xbox controller, but it also has that built-in screen, which is also a touch screen, and it is an all-in-one unit. So apparently this can be operated wirelessly. So not only can you be very far away from the weapon that you are operating, you can be moving while you operate it. So you can be in a, whatever, any vehicle that you want to, and you can be on the move. Or you can be just a long ways away in a protected location. So this is an excellent...
Good word.
This is an excellent force multiplier, which is pretty kick-ass. And it's $400 a unit. I mean, that's not cheap to your average consumer. That is dirt cheap for a piece of military hardware. Also, it is a long list of benefits to actually using a Steam Deck to do this. One of the other benefits is that this is not a restricted technology, or this is not, there's actually a word for it, but whatever. It's a lot cheaper than a traditional military style piece of hardware that would allow you to do this, and it is also not as controlled in terms of where you can mail it in the world. So yeah, they can get their hands on large quantities of these for cheap, and they work apparently excellently. So good fucking idea.
I think what's going to be interesting is to see if Valve has anything to say about this. And you're right. It's totally legal for them to buy it, but it's also totally illegal for a company to not want their products to be used as weapons. And there were actually some drone companies that did this. So then we just get this whole system of intermediaries where people will just buy a whole bunch of drones and then give them to the Ukrainian military. So that will be the next step if anything like that does happen.
I know that there is a clause in the EULA for Google Maps that you're not supposed to use that technology for warfare purposes. There's a whole paragraph on it in the EULA. I imagine that Valve has something similar with their services. So yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, obviously, pretty easy to bypass something like that. Good old Steam Deck. And you know what? It's not going to hurt sales. It's going to be pretty good for Valve, I mean, in the short term. So they can protest about it. Maybe they'll do that. They'll just protest about it and be like, no, you shouldn't do that. No, okay, you're going to do it. Okay, that's okay. But I did want to say that the videos that popped up, nowhere in the videos did any of the military personnel mention the name Steam Deck or identify the handheld unit that they were using. It was people on Twitter who identified it. They're like, yeah, that's obvious. Just there are clear pictures of it. That is obviously a Steam Deck. Anyway, good for them. Slava Ukraine.
It works. It works.
Oh boy. Alright, so that was the fun one. Now is the one where we all get to have a little bit of fun. So Omega posted this actually a couple articles dealing with the same topic. That was Wizards of the Coast raided a YouTuber's house to take back a Magic the Gathering card set that had been mistakenly shipped to him. Pinkerton. Sorry, Wizards of the Coast
Yeah, Wizards
sent
didn't
Pinkerton
rate it.
agents.
The actual Pinkerton agency. For those of you who that doesn't mean anything, go look up some history. It'll be a fun little Wikipedia dive for you, I promise. It's kind of crazy.
We did. You remember the last time we talked about Pinkertons on this podcast was in Red Dead Redemption? Or
Oh
we
my
were talking
God,
about Red
yes.
Dead? Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Pinkertons appeared in Red Dead, and the Pinkerton agency that works under, they have some larger company name now that Pinkertons operate under, sued Rockstar because the Pinkertons were appearing in Red Dead without their permission, and Red Dead successfully argued that the Pinkerton agency has been around for so long and the name is so popular that it is a part of history and it can be included in their game. So that's the last time we talked about the Pinkertons, but this time Wizards of the Coast hired the Pinkertons to go to this guy's house, and hilarity ensues. Discuss.
I couldn't believe that the Pinkertons were still in full operation.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
what got me.
my whole thing.
They've been around this whole time.
I was like, oh Christ, really? They went to this dude's house?
That wasn't all of it. Yeah, you want to talk about what they said to the guy?
Oh God. I don't know if I want to know. Did they make threats against his life?
No. They made threats of a legal nature, saying that if he didn't cooperate with them, it would be up to 10 years in jail, $200,000 fine. They were apparently going on at length about this for so long that they drove this gentleman's wife to tears.
Right.
And yeah, their entire it seems like their entire purpose at that house was to intimidate him into cooperating with Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, they're strong-arm, quote-unquote, private investigators.
Yes. It's, yeah, so, yeah. I don't
Now,
know.
were these things okay? I didn't read the article, and I'm going to prove that here in just a second. Did they ship these things to this guy's house, or is this he got his hands on them and was like, I'm going to preview these regardless?
All right.
How did they figure out that he had these? That's my question.
All right, I just had to do some stuff. So what happened was, I pull this up again. This gentleman, who goes by Dan, quote, old school MTG Cannon, is a YouTuber. He was shooting. He knew of an upcoming Magic: The Gathering update, which would be called. Magic the no, that's not it. Booster set. It was called the March of the Machine. Is a new thing, a new Magic card set that is coming up. However, there is also a separate card set called March of the Machine Aftermath, which is not due to release until May 12th. He got the March of the Machine Aftermath collection, the whole thing, from a gentleman that he knew who sold him this with, I take it from this article, a bunch of other stuff. That gentleman ostensibly did not realize what he was selling old school MTG or Dan Cannon, whatever name he wants to go by. So this was sent to him by mistake. There was no malice, according to Dan. There was no theft going on. It was a blunder. It was a mistake. And when Dan received the March of the Machine Aftermath stuff, he made a video about it and he posted it onto YouTube. He said, guess what I got early? And he made this whole YouTube video. And that is how Wizards of the Coast picked it up. Now, according to Wizards of the Coast, they tried contacting Dan multiple times. There is nothing in any of this gentleman's statements which confirm or deny that. I didn't read anything about him addressing their claim that they tried to contact him before they sent Pinkerton agents. But yeah, that's Wizard's take on this situation anyways, that, well, we tried text messaging him, but he never texted us back, so we sent Pinkerton agents.
See, to me, the most comical part of this is that Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, picked the Pinkerton agency to do this. They didn't pick just any. They could have sent a lawyer. They could have sent any other private investigator type.
They could have
process
contacted
servers, those type of people. But no, they sent the Pinkertons. It's
a statement.
It's a choice to do that.
I agree.
It's a cartoonish choice, if we're being honest.
Yep, a little bit.
The Wizards of the Coast. It's amazing.
There's actually a game company called Pinnacle Entertainment. They do the Deadlands RPG, which is this old Wild West, but with like supernatural bullshit sort of flavor to it, some alternate history vibes, that sort of thing. And they have the Pinkertons in it. So to continue my thought, it would be really amusing if that company ever had to send something after someone and they chose the Pinkertons, because that would be ironic.
I can see Rockstar doing that. If Rockstar did that, I don't know if I would think it was out of character, or I would think it was hilarious.
Both.
They would, yeah. Now that they've won the lawsuit, or they won the lawsuit a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't know. Yeah, no, it would be great for Rockstar to just rub salt in that wound. Oh, boy.
They wouldn't just rub salt in that wound. They would, grind it in.
So this is, it was brought up on a couple news sites, and people online obviously responded to Dan, because Dan took down the original videos that he made, and he put up a video which explained exactly what happened. And I think both Polygon and Kotaku got into contact with him, and he gave official statements, which is what I've read in these articles. I'm not sure how true this is, but Pinkerton's showing up at your house and threatening you with 10 years in jail, $200,000 fine, all this legal work and everything like this, and saying, if you don't call this, then we're going to raid your house and we're just going to take whatever the fuck we want. I'm not sure if that constitutes the basis of a lawsuit, but I want to say that it does. As in, get the fuck off my property kind of lawsuit. And obviously Pinkertons aren't going to leave because they are strong arms. But yeah, the point is, when Dan was strongly encouraged to call a representative from Wizards of the Coast while Pinkertons were present, the representative from Wizards of the Coast was, according to Dan, very apologetic and very understanding, and people online were pointing out, yeah, probably because he knew that he had opened the company to a lawsuit. I'm not exactly certain how that works, but I can imagine people refusing to leave your property. That's definitely a lawsuit. Whatever. This situation resolves itself peacefully. He handed over the set of cards that was not supposed to be out, and he gave them the boxes. He even gave them, they took the used wrappings, the plastic wrapping that came on the box. They took fucking everything related to it. And yeah, that's the end of that. Supposedly he's being compensated by, quote, the unreleased product, this is a statement from Wizards of the Coast. The unreleased product will be replaced by us with the product he intended to purchase. We appreciate the individual's cooperation, and the investigation is ongoing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, good on them for making it right, but at the same time, I'm kind of with the thought of everybody else here. They kind of had to do it because if they didn't do it, they probably opened themselves up to a massive lawsuit.
Maybe. I'm still not 100% on. I obviously don't have all the details here. I have what Kotaku and Polygon have published, which is not a ton. But yeah.
I'm saying we all know how trustworthy game journalism is.
Yeah.
We all know how trustworthy any journalism is. Let me not add game in front of that.
No, it's mostly game journalism. It's whatever. But yeah, so it just seemed, the reason I think this got so much goddamn attention is because of the Pinkerton aspect, and that just seems like an overreaction. As Omega said, there are many other options for private investigators to go. You don't even need a private investigator. You can just contact the sheriff's office and be like, hey, we need to get into contact with this individual because something's gone wrong. And the sheriff's department could have sent a deputy down and just been like, hey, could you, here's a business card. You need to call this number or we're going to have to come back. Oh, boy. Yeah. Crazy time for this guy.
Yeah.
Well.
What else do we have?
Is that the list?
We got other stuff. This is interesting, but I don't know. We'll see what you guys have to think about this. It was announced that I think I think you posted this, Zero. There's a Twisted Metal TV show. 10 episode, yeah, 10 episode series that's coming out on Peacock.
I'm excited.
Peacock is NBC's streaming service. Well, don't get too excited yet because, yeah, the Twisted Metal games were, I mean, this is back in the day. This is PlayStation 2, if anybody ever remembers playing Twisted Metal.
Great game. I loved it.
Post-apocalyptic driving game with a notoriously sinister-looking clown with a flaming head. It was kind of a good time. Boxy graphics, basic PS2 garbage, but gosh, it was fun when it came out. And people probably aren't familiar with the storyline of the game. Yes, the game actually did have a storyline. I've long since forgotten what it was, but it doesn't matter what that storyline was because, and I'm quoting the article here from IGN, quote, though inspired by the classic PlayStation game series, the show is based on an original take by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick from Deadpool and Zombieland, respectively, who wrote Deadpool and Zombieland, respectively, and written by Michael Jonathan Smith, who is of Cobra Kai fame. So, this is a TV show that takes place in the Twisted Metal universe that really doesn't seem to have anything to do with the games. And this is one of those situations where I'm just like, why does it need to be in the Twisted Metal universe? Why can't you just do this as an original property? Are you capitalizing on the name?
Hollywood doesn't do original ideas anymore. Any
original ideas are scary.
Well, no, see, people come up with original ideas, and then Hollywood forces those into a skin of a well-known IP so that they can feel less scared about risking money on something.
Which makes me sad.
That's why you end up with Star Trek movies that should have just been their own kick-ass space movie. That's why you end up with a Halo TV show that would have been better if it was just its own fucking TV show. Like, you go down the list.
So, yeah, Zero, I mean, the plot, the premise, and all the rest of the world, I guess. We're familiar with the world in which this will take place, but people saying that it has anything to do with the games, no. With one possible exception being Will Arnett's character. He is slated to come back as, I think the clown's name is Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, he is voicing Sweet Tooth. The actual person who is playing Sweet Tooth is a professional wrestler by the name of Samoa Joe.
Oh, I know Samoa Joe.
Yeah, and he is like they in the preview in the little teaser that they did for it. Yeah, I'm kind of hyped about that because he's. I mean, the back of the truck, the back of the ice cream truck when they show it has got all of the implements of torture that you would expect Sweet Tooth to have. All of them. Blades, saws, shackles, cuffs, the whole 9 yards. It's insane. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of here for it.
Sounds
if they do
kinky.
this right. Yeah, if they do. Oh, well, I mean, he's
Egg
wearing
wisps.
a 5-point. He's wearing
an
a
egg
5-point harness.
Could you say he's hooked on a feeling?
Oh my god.
Anal hooked on a feeling?
Anybody know that one little hook attachment for the KitchenAid?
Oh,
The dough hook?
Oh god.
Yeah, the dough hook.
The dough
There
hook.
you go.
Oh god.
There you go. That
I
seems
love
like
using
something
the
that would be
dough
in the
hook.
source. Everybody does. Everybody, or if you're a child and you don't understand what the dough hook is for, you use it as you put your sleeve up over your hand and you have it, and you run around the house saying, "I'm Captain Hook," which is what I did as a child. Nev Campbell is also in this show, and that's always delightful. Nice to see Nev Campbell doing stuff. But yeah, Twisted Metal coming out. This spurned me on to do a little bit of research. If anyone has been paying attention to what Henry Cavill is doing with the Warhammer property, because I'm looking at that, and I was disappointed to find a whole bunch of gossip, but thank goodness it is only gossip, that was talking about how poorly received the Rings of Power was in terms of a property, and how Amazon is revisiting its already established or in progress deals in light of that series' failure. So the again, only gossip, thank goodness, the gossip was that Amazon would be playing a greater role in the executive producing of Henry Cavill's Warhammer property, which I hope is not the case. Just leave it to him. Leave him to do the thing. Don't make this a boardroom decision-making process. Just leave it alone. He knows what he's doing. I hope. And even if he doesn't, it's better than a whole bunch of suits making executive decisions about how to make the most inclusive show possible to appeal to as many people as possible in the Warhammer property.
That is
because
not
that's just
what Warhammer was about.
No, never.
At all.
It was just never. There, at no point in the Warhammer mythology is there a point where you can jump in to learn everything. You're always going to be jumping into the middle of something. And then yesterday, I'll just ramble for a little bit here while Zero does whatever. While we all do whatever. I was thinking a little bit about what story the Warhammer property might focus on, or Warhammer properties, plural, might focus on. And there are so many good stories about individuals, about larger events going on that all fit into certain time periods, certain lore periods within the Warhammer universe. There's the sort of mankind getting out of the Age of Strife when the Emperor of Mankind creates I always want to call them the Iron Warriors, but the Men of Steel, or the Men of Iron. My brain is going to fail me tonight. Going across Terra and basically uniting the planet, there are a lot of stories that happened during that period that could make for really excellent TV shows, and they're very interesting, and they're not always that well covered in terms of Warhammer lore and popularity in the community. Then after that, there's the creation of the Astartes, the scattering of the Astartes throughout the galaxy, the unification of the Astartes, and the unification war, the Holy Crusade to unify the Empire of Man. Lots of great stories into there. And then we start getting into a period that I think is really, really super overdone, and that's the Horus Heresy. Everybody in the Warhammer community knows the Horus Heresy. It is by far the most covered topic, the most stories, I think, in my opinion, my experience, the most stories are written about the Horus Heresy, about the things that happen there. It is just, it's done to death. And when I was thinking about this earlier, I arrived at this analogy. The Horus Heresy is the first Spider-Man movie where Uncle Ben bites it and Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man. We don't need it. We can just skip it. We can do what Disney did. We can just skip over all that, and we can jump into, okay, here's Spider-Man, he's doing shit. So that's what I'm afraid of, though. But the Horus Heresy is extremely popular, and it is a dark story, and it would probably go very well. And if the Warhammer property did choose to focus on the Horus Heresy, then Henry Cavill would be playing the Emperor of Men. It would also not technically be Warhammer 40k, because those events happened 10,000 years before the 41st millennium. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, ya nerds. But that's my
I
little
think you're
segue.
the nerd here, Doc.
I am, I know. I'm projecting. But yeah, that's my little rant, that's my tangent, sorry.
Well,
Wow,
I
looks
hope
like it's
when
lame.
it comes out, it doesn't suck.
Yeah. If it follows all the... What do I want to say here? If it follows the established lore of Warhammer, if Henry Cavill actually does, I mean, not just himself trying to put this together, I hope that he will consult with other people who are as big nerds as he is, if not bigger. Yeah, as long as all that stays in place and it adheres to Warhammer lore, it's going to delight Warhammer fans, including myself. Even if it is the Horus Heresy, I mean, I'll look forward to it being a AAA studio production of that particular historical event, even though in my opinion, again, it's been done to death. But yeah. Also, I'm not sure how much, I'm not even sure if Henry Cavill is going to be in the production itself, whatever form it ends up taking. But if he is, I'm going to call it right now, he's either going to be an Adeptus Custodi, or he's going to be the Emperor of Mankind. And if it's the Horus Heresy, it's the perfect time for him to be the Emperor of Mankind, because, spoilers, the Emperor of Mankind does not... He ends up sitting on a chair. And that's all that he does for the next 10,000 years. So Henry Cavill could just reprise his role whenever somebody walks into the throne room, and that's it. So as well... Yeah, go ahead.
I'm personally looking forward to it because I want to learn more about 40k, and I don't have the time to invest in learning more about 40k.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know if it's a game or a book or I don't know. It's too much.
There are two completely separate. Yeah, there are two completely separate Warhammer communities. There are three. There is the community that absolutely loves the tabletop RPG. There is the community that has never played the tabletop RPG but absolutely loves the books and the lore. And then there is the group of people who have read all the books and the lore and love the tabletop RPG. And those people are the people that you want to be afraid of.
But then there's also the whole, like, there's 45 million minis that you need, and you got to paint them all, and they cost all sorts of money. You thought D&D took a lot of minis.
Yeah, there are, because literally there are 1,000 chapters of the Astartes. In the 41st millennium, there are 1,000 chapters of the Astartes, the Adeptus, and there are all these different roles that everyone in the chapter plays. Then you break them down into squads and battle groups, and it is. There's a shit ton of miniatures and figurines, and that's just for the Empire of Man. Then you get into the Mars Mechanicus, whole different thing, and then maybe you want to get into the Eldar, whole different thing, and then there are the Orcs. Yeah, yeah, lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, if you're a D&D dungeon master, you're like, I need some orcs. Let me get I'll get like 5 to 10 orcs. That should be good.
That's reasonable.
And then you want to go play Warhammer, and it's like, I need to get 300 orcs. I need 300 orcs. I need 300 orcs. And that's just for this one fight.
Yeah, that's just for the one fight. Is this a birthday party or a WOG? That is
Do I
what
want to
that's.
know what a WOG is?
It's what the orcs call. It's what the orcs call war.
Oh, okay.
When they charge into battle and they're sawing people in half and shooting them, they just scream out WOG. It's actually kind of great.
Also, it's kind of like the Covenant going war.
Yes, it is. I like that. That is accurate.
I love it. It's an apt comparison. Finally, my useless Halo knowledge comes in handy.
Well, we all know you're not angelic.
Yeah, well, facts.
Oh man, and all the chapters. Yeah, Zero, you're not kidding. There's a lot to learn just about the Imperium.
I have been watching YouTube videos, just kind of doing, just passively watching or listening to YouTube videos while I'm working, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm sitting there going, oh God, what have I done? Why have I opened this book? Oh no.
It's like, is this a game or am I studying for the SAT2s? Honestly, it does. Sometimes it does feel like I'm studying for a test whenever Games Workshop releases new content. Yeah. Anyway, there is a guy that I like on YouTube. I've told you, Zero. His name's Luton, but the one, he is extremely knowledgeable. He has many excellent videos. The one downside to his videos is that I think he has a legitimate problem using commas and semicolons, and that leads to him sort of having a very even speaking style that you can easily be hypnotized by, and so an hour will go by and he'll just wake up and be like, wait, what? So, yeah, extremely knowledgeable individual. Sometimes it feels that way. Yeah, sometimes it does. But that's not Tanaka. He knows more about Warhammer than I think I ever will. And just while we're on the topic, Games Workshop, Mega, you're talking about miniatures. Games Workshop actually has a serious problem that's been ongoing apparently for years now. And that is when new content, new miniatures, new books get released through their website. Their website is apparently just shit, and it craps out. So people will be browsing. If you get onto the site and it hasn't crashed, you'll fill up your shopping cart with like this new content. You'll go to check out and it'll just freeze, or it'll put you in a loop while it processes. And then 5 minutes later, when it snaps out of it, it'll just be like, oops, it's all gone. Inventory is empty. So yeah, there is a scarcity of content, or a scarcity of product when Games Workshop releases new stuff. And the most aggravating part about it is that 5 minutes after the store tells you that they're completely sold out, you can go onto eBay and you can find a huge stock of what was just sold for a 200% markup. So scalping is a huge problem.
We've almost gotten there, but I look forward to the day that home 3D printers are not only, available, but as commonplace as we consider, having a toolbox.
Right, so you can buy designs and you can print them yourself.
Yeah.
Or you can just fucking pirate the designs and build them yourself that way.
Or like, who says you have to use a licensed design? You're gonna be able to find a million STLs online for generic open source orcs. Or
shit. Yeah, Etsy's gonna be packed.
Just whatever.
Yeah,
There's a
that's a good
huge
point.
open source community for that kind of stuff.
There are, and I know this just because I really like model building, but I know that there's already a huge market for D&D environments, for printable D&D environments that you can go out and you can print those yourself, or you can buy them plain and paint them. But
There's
yeah,
a company called Hero Forge where you can go out and design your own D&D mini and they'll 3D
Oh,
print
you're
it,
right.
or you can buy, or they can sell you the STL and you can print it yourself.
I totally forgot about Hero Forge, but yeah, you're right.
And yeah, there are similar companies that do a similar thing with terrain, like interlocking terrain pieces that are modular, so you can, buy a pack of a whole bunch of different floor pieces, wall pieces, rooms, different shapes and sizes, and basically make your own custom maps out of, modular puzzle type pieces. And you can either buy them or you can print them.
And then there are the wicked smart people who just use Foundry.
Wicked
Poke.
smart.
Wicked smart.
Wicked smart. Oh.
All right, so that was, let's see, Twisted Metal, and yeah, I segued into that. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was this this game that came out today, May 1st. There's a city builder that's set on the back of a giant space turtle.
Yeah, I saw that. That looked good.
It looks great. Who was it? Yeah, Terry Pratchett's Discworld. I believe originated this idea of an entire world on the back of you just call it the world turtle, but it's the galaxy turtle. And then Stephen King latched onto that and made his whole every book that he writes takes place in the same Stephen King universe where there's the world turtle that represents all good, and then there's it, which is just darkness and evil. But anyway, this looks like a fun game. It's a city builder / management game, and this is going way back. I'm not sure if anyone will get this reference, but I'll just go with it. So the way this game starts out is that you are, what do they call it? Meeps. All right, they call the citizens, the people, Meeps. You start out having to unify your Meep tribe with all of the other Meep tribes on the world turtle. And once you have done that, you start building cities and advancing technology, and you need to learn how to care for the turtle and keep it alive as it gently floats through space, like the adorable turtle that it is. And then once you have progressed past that stage, you can go to the space stage, where you start exploring space around you, and you can go to different systems and everything. You can bring the world turtle to different places, and the environment will impact the world turtle. Does that sound like Spore to anybody else?
It does.
Minus the turtle?
A little bit.
Yeah. I played a lot of Spore, and that sounds like Spore. Which was a great game. It had shit endgame. Once you got to space, it was like, all right, what's the point? Defeat the Groks? Yeah, I'll spend the rest of my life doing that. Because they had 300,000 different systems, and the only way to defeat them was to terraform each planet. But whatever, yeah. That aside, this sounds fun. I'll probably check this out because it looks adorable and cute, and I like micromanaging, economy management, and city building, and space.
Not you, Doc.
I know. It's like, when am I going to get back to City Skylines? Soon!
PM. I was looking back through some of the articles that we posted. Did we talk about the Red Cross thing?
Oh, yeah, you posted that. I didn't talk about it because I couldn't find a follow-up of it, but if you can find a follow-up to see how that went, that's fine. Yeah, Zero's talking about an article that came out where the Red Cross sponsored Fortnite and, what was it, COD?
Yeah, something like that.
To not commit war crimes in their games. For players not to commit war crimes while playing COD / Fortnite. And,
yeah, it didn't go well.
I'm just guessing it didn't go well because COD.
Yeah, so my thing is why didn't they option DE? Because literally
Because-
in Warframe, you are a walking war crime. That is
Yeah,
all you do.
because if they option DE, the only way to successfully win that would be to not play the game at all.
Because that's the first thing I thought when I saw this article was, oh God, all four of us would not be able to play any of the games that we play because we all create heinous amounts of war crimes.
Yeah, he
We
said
fucking-
anus.
He did. Yeah, we fucking melt people to death in Warframe.
No, the best war crimes we've ever committed was Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
I still remember you guys
In
talking about
Warframe, you can't go collect dead bodies, put them in the back of your Jeep, and drive around town with them. Can't do that in Warframe.
Oh, that's true. In Warframe, you can't cut people's body parts out and throw them into the vehicle and drive around town with them.
You can't roll through town with a truck grenade launch with a full automatic grenade launching turret, just nuking everybody in town with it.
Just pumping grenades into the apartments.
I mean, I will be honest. When it comes to explosions, Warframe probably does have Breakpoint beat, but in the sheer brutal, terrorism, war crimes you're able to commit, man, Breakpoint does a lot.
I think the best thing that I can think of when you say driving around shooting grenades out of a rotary grenade launcher just infinitely is fire a warning shot, Patterson. Sir, this is an M32 rotary grenade launcher. Potato, fire the shot.
There's this one meme that got posted, which was like, Jesus, Carl, I said fire a warning shot. And it's this picture of a SWAT guy making the what the fuck gesture over a dead body.
Well, I mean...
Funny, not funny.
If you kill somebody, is that not the ultimate warning? I'm just saying.
Definitely discourages further action. Whatever the action was gonna be. I'm just now remembering Omega in Ghost Recon Wildland or in Breakpoint. We used the grenade launcher on top of the vehicle to blow up other vehicles, and then you could go and you could look at the dead bodies, and some of them were like covered in third-degree burns. It was that realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh, we would pile up bodies and set them all on fire.
Yes, we would.
That's the game where we could do that. I mean, that game and Red Dead. Those are the two.
Oh
I
yeah,
also enjoyed the war crimes we did in GTA.
GTA isn't war crimes. That's more like domestic terrorism.
I mean, he's not wrong. The fact that Omega and I in one night not only expended, I believe, somewhere north of 200 rounds of railgun ammunition into helicopters alone.
200 or 2,000? Because 200 seems light.
No, 200 railgun. You got to think it's a single shot.
Oh, you mean the turret?
Yeah, the railgun. It's like the gun that you have to find, like the gun seller van and buy it from him, and it one shots helicopters out of the sky. It's pretty great. It's basically a hit scan, one shot explosion, like huge damage, kind of like a rocket launcher.
But Masami, you are right. There's nothing quite like in GTA when you can just mow down pedestrians in the sidewalk while screaming at them that the sidewalk is for cars.
Also, the bridge incidents.
Yes, you mean the lemmings?
Correct.
Zero and I found a new rampage spot the other day that was actually really great. It was the roof of the country club on the beach that's going up the West Side Highway.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god, yes.
I found a spot up there, and like me and Zero were able to shield ourselves from the ground when we wanted to. We could take out the helicopters as needed. There were some great funnels where we could kill all of the guys on foot. It was pretty fun.
Man. So anyway, Zero, I didn't put that article on here because I'm imagining that it didn't go well.
It did not go well, but it's always worth speaking about when the Red Cross tries to invade gaming. And they're like,
Well-
you children need to play nice. And
Interestingly
it doesn't
enough,
work in their
though,
favor.
Interestingly enough, though, I believe the last time that they did this, they partnered up with Arma 3 and actually released a DLC where the objective of the game was to act as a medic and heal people and go around doing humanitarian stuff. And it did sell like $150,000 worth of stuff, or raise that much money for the Red Cross. So like but that's totally different because first of all, it's the Arma community and every single Arma player that I know is totally up in their own asshole. But also it is a DLC where that's the point. So, you have to. Whereas Fortnite, it's just like, it's optional. And COD, nobody gives a fuck about anything in COD except for being a 12-year-old asshole and shouting the N-word over and over again on VoIP.
Yeah.
Oh, good times. Hey, the Duvary Paradox came out. I took this long to talk about Warframe, but yeah, the Duvary Paradox launched April 26th. New open world.
Proud of you.
I know, yeah. It was a little while. Brought it up briefly before. You did. But yeah, Duvary Paradox is out. It is a new open world. You do get a horsey. You are riding around as your drifter. So you are not a Warframe. There are parts of the map, there are activities in the map where you can go into what is called the Undercroft, and there you have access to your Warframe. Special Warframe. I won't spoil too much.
Gotta be careful. You don't want chafing in your undercroft.
It's very true.
Yeah.
But
you
boy,
gotta make sure you put a lot of powder.
Boy, is there a lot of movement in the Undercroft, I'll tell you that. So yeah, it is. I can see how people compared it to Red Dead from those aspects, because the open world, there's stuff for you to do in the open world, and there's people wandering around and activities and shit, and it's a neat concept. I'm not 100% a fan of the combat in the open world as the drifter because has anyone else here played Dark Souls?
I have, briefly.
Kozen would be your expert, but he is busy right now.
Okay, yeah, no, I hear him. He's busy. It really is. The combat style reminded me of Dark Souls. It's nowhere near as difficult. It's nowhere near as unforgiving. But the mechanics and the style of the fighting with your drifter reminded me a lot of Dark Souls. And that's not really what I go to Warframe for. But yeah, it's new, it's different, and apparently it's available to absolutely everybody, new or old. Just have to do the quest. So yeah, there we go. Omega, you might like it because it does emphasize single target. There are not hordes of things. There are small groups of enemies that you need to skillfully fight off. And there are many, many, many new key combinations to learn.
I don't know if I can, like, both in the sense of, do I want to get back into Warframe? And also, I literally don't think I can install Warframe right now.
Yeah, you need a bigger C drive.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. For some reason, DE decided to put fucking
Shader cache.
27 gigabytes of data into the app data program files folder. I don't fucking know why. There's not a single other game that comes remotely close to putting that much onto my C drive, and they all put it in the game directory where I tell it to go, like, on all my other larger drives made for holding all my, Steam libraries and Epic Games libraries and all that shit. But nope, for some reason, D decided to dump 27 gigabytes on my C drive.
Whoa, wait, this is weird. Okay, so it's under app data. Is it local?
I don't remember which one. Roaming?
Is it local? Okay, I don't have anything in... I'm going to check. My local, I have a Warframe folder in local, and it's 544 kilobytes. Let me do some checking around here. Nope, that's all I have for Warframe. So for whatever reason, my shader cache is not located on my C drive. Yeah, it's got to be in local. It's not local low. Yeah, small.
Is it not in roaming?
No, I have nothing. I have nothing for Digital Extremes or Warframe in roaming.
No, I don't know.
That's weird. Because as you say, it is bizarre for you to point to an install directory. I do the same thing. I don't keep my games on my C drive. I have an SSD for gaming.
Yerp.
Oh well. So, I think that's about it. Yeah. Warframe, Davari, War Crimes, Henry Cavill. Yeah, this is good. All right, we can call it here. Masami, what should we call this one? Let's keep Henry Cavill out of it. The last time I put his name in the title, I had to put, like, Henry Cavill has nothing to do with this podcast. Leave the man alone.
War Crimes 40K?
The war crime paradox.
Oh my god, yes.
I like it. All right, we'll do that. So yeah, this has been War Crime Paradox.
Whoa! As of 3 hours ago, Pornhub blocked all of Utah from its site.
What?
What?
That is amazing. I love it.
Where will the Mormons get their porn now? For real? Why the fuck did they do that?
A new law that requires porn sites to verify users' ages. Pornhub, in response to a new law, Pornhub has completely disabled its websites for people located in Utah. Anyone accessing Pornhub from a Utah-based IP address doesn't see the Pornhub page, but instead is met with a video of Cherie DeVille, adult performer and member of the Adult Performer Advocacy Committee, explaining that they won't be able to visit the site.
Well, first of all, thank you, Sherry.
That leads out a whole long statement that basically is telling them to contact your representatives and demand that they don't do this.
Damn
is this
it,
along
Mitt
the
Romney.
same? Is this? Oh, I'm sure Mitt Romney was patently against this. Is this along the lines? You think this is along the same lines of the shit that happened in Louisiana? This is why Leetness can't access Pornhub anymore without logging in and verifying that he's, what is he, 206?
Something like that.
Yeah, so the same article says here, in January, Pornhub started requiring identification from Louisiana-based users following the passage of a law that makes porn sites liable for content deemed harmful to minors. Several copycat bills started moving through states with various success, including in Arkansas, which passed its own version into law. So it's interesting then that Pornhub complied with Louisiana's law and enacted age verification. But well, it doesn't say it requires age verification. It says it just requires identification from Louisiana-based users. So I don't know. Maybe there are different legal terms there that actually do matter.
Is this all part of a massive conspiracy to drive demand for print pornography back up?
That would be something else.
All right. More stupid ideas next week. Same time, same place. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. And we'll see y'all next week. Penis, penis. Fuck Putin. Fuck Winnie the Pooh. Fuck Nestle.
Fuck
Yeah.
Nestle.
Fuck
Fuck
Nestle.
Nestle.